Hey, my fairies. Before we get started, I absolutely have to say viewer warning um, for everything. This is about to get real crazy. I played this game when I was 14, but that does not mean this is for kids. But first, we're gonna have to rewind it back to 2022. So the year's 2022, and I was a freshman in high school when I played this game, so around 2014. I've been an anime fan for some time at that point, and I knew a little something about BL, and I knew a little something about visual novels. So I decided to look up a visual novel, a BL visual novel actually. Now, I have no clue what this game is called anymore because it had been years at that point. While looking for this game, I looked through my Google Game Store history and couldn't find it. I couldn't remember anything about the title. I thought it had the word monochrome in it, but this was wrong because it was at the height of during my Black Butler phase, and Black Butler's first opening is monochrome no kiss. So I was like, oh. The only things I really remember about the story is that it's about two brothers, they're twins, a girl and a rose bush. I know the girl shows up at some point, but I didn't remember anything else about her. Now let's fast forward to this year. After 2 years, I found the game and now I know what it's called. The Cradle of Thorns, My Brother Belongs to Me. A shout out to Lost Media Wiki for finding it. That will be that, and Doll's Prince on YouTube is how I got the footage for it. I wasn't able to play the game, but there is the YouTube channel that uploaded each chapter individually on YouTube except the first chapter. I have to read the synopsis to y'all because it is actually really crazy. Based on the real life story that shocked the world, is it insanity or love? Two brothers live in a house alone. It was though they cared nothing about the world except for each other. The sanctuary of bliss. These two brothers live in a world isolated of each other. Their name is Johan and Joshua. Now and forevermore, let's stay together forever and ever, okay? He's saying that about his brother? He's saying that to his brother? Or one of them is saying it to their brother? Brother, okay. Here's the thing about that synopsis. I sat on the phone with one of my friends and I was doing research, but I could not find anything. I looked on Google, I used Bing, I looked on Reddit, I looked on like book forums. I couldn't find anything about a story about twins and the kind of stuff that's going to be in the story. I'm not going to spoil anything just yet, but I personally could not find anything to collaborate with the synopsis saying that this is based off of a true story. The game starts off by telling the player that the twins who live here, parents died when they were 8 years old. That was 7 years ago, so now they're 15. Living inside their huge house by themselves. It's another rainy day, and Johan, the older twin, loves it when it rains because he gets to stay inside and be with his cute little brother. They go downstairs to eat breakfast, roast tea and roast scones. The roasting is very important in the story. After breakfast, the rain stops and they go to pick out roses outside. While outside, Joshua asks him why can't he go outside. Johan reminds him that because he's not an adult yet, he has to stay inside, and once he's an adult, he can leave. Joshua explains to his brother that he can't wait to go outside. Johan disagrees and says he wants to stay inside that house forever with his little brother forever. The next day, Joshua wants to go outside in the garden by himself. He gets the water can as he heads outside and he sees a girl. They make their introductions, but we actually don't get to learn her name because Joshua claims that her name is too long and hard to say. For now, we're just gonna call her Birdie. Joshua is having a great time with her, and after they talk, goes back inside, and his brother asks him what got him such a good in a good mood, but he doesn't answer. Matter of fact, he keeps it a secret. For the past few days, every morning he hurries up, eats his breakfast so he can go meet Birdie. Talk like they always do, but before she leaves, she asks him why doesn't he leave. He explains that his brother won't let him leave because they're not old enough, and she assures him that it's actually safe. She travels to him all the time by herself. She gives him a big hug before she leaves. He hasn't felt the touch of another person outside his brother in years. My boy got a crush, huh? Around the corner, there was somebody watching the whole time. Johan. Next day as usual, he rushes down to eat his breakfast so he can meet Birdie, but she doesn't come. He waited for her to come, But day after day, she didn't come, and after a week, he gave up. While at dinner, Johan asks his brother if he was okay. Joshua decides to confess that he's been meeting a girl. Johan tells him that he has a secret too. Comes to find out that some of the food's been coming up missing. After learning that he's had a friend over, he thinks it was the girl. Joshua starts crying his eyes out. No, not her. It wasn't her. I don't know, brother. It might have been her. What he's actually trying to do is put the idea of his brother friend being a thief into his head. While in his hysteria, his brother decides to ask him, do you still want to leave? Like, no, I don't want to ever leave. I know that no one's ever going to hurt me. My one and only big brother would never hurt me. So now he doesn't want to leave because he's been hurt by one girl. Joshua asks, what kind of meat are they eating today? It tastes a little different from the rabbit meat they're used to eating. This is the part where it gets kinda... He said that his real secret is that he caught a birdie in the garden. You caught your brother's friend, lock her in your cellar, and fed her to your brother? He keeps going and he says, it gets really gloomy when others are around. That's why I had to say goodbye to our mother and father 7 years ago. What? Hearing this, I was like, he said goodbye. Well, I get that. I get what it means. It means, obviously, he killed his parents. Why? Because 3 is a crowd, but there was 4 of them, so 4 is just way too many. That's why he killed the other girl, because that's too many people for him. It just needs to be him and his brother. But then the thing that really got me, I was like, wait a minute. At the beginning of the story, your parents died when you guys were 8 years old. You killed your parents at 8 years old? Who puts that in a story? Who puts that in a novel? And I was just like, now I'm just like, now I don't want to do this no more. We find out that the reason why he's had such a terrible life is because he's stuck with his brother. But now he wants to stay with his brother forever, and he knows his brother will never hurt him like apparently the girl did, but he doesn't know. Oh my god. To be alone with his only blood brother, he knew he could never force him to stay. Luckily, it took only one, as he says, filthy, disgusting pest to do the work for him. That's a crazy thing to call that girl. I'm sorry. Well, she didn't do nothing to you. She didn't even meet you. What? And then you killed her, chopped her up, and fed her to your brother. I'm sorry. I will never get over that. It starts raining again, and Johan comes up to ask Joshua, oh, you know, how do you feel about the rain now? Like, do you still hate the rain? Now he says that he likes the rain and that he loves the fact that he can stay inside with his brother all day. I told you this was not for kids. Honestly, when I was researching this, I didn't remember any of this. I guess I was so traumatized as a 14-year-old, I was just like,
oh, nope, we're taking it out of our brain. Nope, no longer here.
But this story was great. I know so many other, like, not even just BL, but like anime and other visual novels that have crazy themes like this. So if you guys ever want me to review another crazy story like this, obviously leave it in the comment. I'll do it. I love crazy stories like this. Honestly, it's my favorite genre. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you had a good time. More videos to come. It took me a long time to do this one. Being on camera for the first time in a very long time. I've had to have my nerves worked up, but hopefully this is good. Hopefully we're getting better. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, my fairies.